Welcome to a Drop Tent Media Production.
The Porcupine with Adam Nutter.
What's up, brother and sister bears? This is another episode of The Porcupine. How are ye? Yous. I don't know. What's going on? Thanks for tuning in, as always. Again, follow me at Adam Nutter on all the stuff. I'm sorry, I'm running mad far behind. I just recorded Cult of Us, and I'm literally just jumped out of that to do this live. Everything's live. It's too much stuff. I'm way far behind. All right. Cult of Porcupine. Hey, go follow me at Adam Nutter on all the stuff. Go buy a shirt. You fucking pieces of shit. Go buy your very own Porcupine shirt. You got the white series. We got the black series. We got your Disobey Your Local Nutter with artwork from Top Lobster himself, the man, the myth, the legend. Go get it. Super comfortable shirts, $25 each. Go get them. Is it for that? Comedy stuff. Thanks for everybody who came out to the stand last night. That was a fun show. So that was cool. New York's always a good time. Doing comedy there. What else do I got coming up? I don't know. A lot of stuff. I'm fucking April 16th. Next Poppin' show. We got Natalie Cuomo headlining with Ray Goots. Coming out to that, right outside of Philly. 2 shows, 7 to 9:30. DraftTent.com/events for tickets for that. They're already selling out. They're already selling. So get your tickets now if you guys want to come to that show. Anything else? I have more stuff. I'll be going on the road this summer on the South a lot. Florida, Texas, Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, like a lot of those places. So look out for me. I'll be releasing those soon. When more info comes in, go listen to Cult of Us, I guess, also. I think this is for my plugs. All right, guys, my guest tonight, you guys know him. You guys love him. Mr. Greg Deal, Mr. Anthony Portillo from the Broken Windows podcast and from the LPPA XCOM. What's up, guys?
What's up, bro?
What's going on?
That was the worst intro I've ever
seen.
Dude,
I'm so fucking, I know, I'm so flustered. I'm so like,
very
my mind's running 1,000. I'm sorry, I'm running 1,000 things in my mind at once. Sorry, I'm on board.
Also, just to flex a little bit, I think I'm getting a gold jacket, Top Lobster shirt. So we're in conversations now.
That's bullshit. I want a fucking gold jacket shirt. The jacket's sick.
Yeah, I'm getting the shirt made. I'm gonna wear it when I campaign.
100% should.
100% should. Can we talk about Greg's murder dungeon?
Yeah, you look like you are the BTK killer for sure. I mean, that needs to be addressed.
You know what? My podcast partner has bodies hidden.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this. We had a pretty big fire at work, and we lost power to all of our units down here. I work in a steel mill on the western side of the state, and I lost my network extender in my office too. So I didn't have any service, so I had to find a place for service. But this is the only place that has service, but it doesn't have any light. So I'm literally using a flashlight to get any type of lighting that I have in here. It's pretty insane.
Well, thanks for taking your time out of moonlighting in Buffalo Bill's torture dungeon to do this podcast with us. It's super cool. Thanks.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
Yeah.
The podcast again.
Randomly just see Greg look down a hole and be like, "Shut up." So anyway, Liberty, right?
Hold on. Can we also address that we had like 30 seconds before we started, and when he told us that story before we started live, he said the word shanty, and I have no idea what the fuck that means. What is your shanty?
A shanty?
Yes.
A shanty is like a poor man's shed. Like it's like a poor man's house, like a shanty house.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what it is. It's basically just some thin walls with a lot of computer stuff in it, and then we call them shanties or pulpits, whatever we get. But basically, it's a small office in the middle of a steel building.
Get educated, bro. God,
sorry.
I even know that.
My office is my house, in fairness. So.
Oh yeah, because I have a shanty outside my house that I just go to. You fucking idiot.
I'm gonna build a shed in my backyard in the spring.
That's a shanty. That's a shanty.
I don't
if that
think
was
I would
outside
ever
of
call
your
it
backyard.
out.
That's a shanty.
That's some white people shit. That's like coming from me.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Anyway, Liberty.
Anyway, Liberty. So what's going on with you guys? How's your new podcast coming along, the Broken Windows podcast? By the way, Constantine already bailed.
Yo, so we were supposed to record yesterday, and I was going to call our episode Fallen Comrades and have a moment of silence for tracksuits. So shout out to Constantine, but we might still do that.
All right. So What was the concept of this? It's when you guys told me like, "Hey, we started a podcast." I was like, "Oh, it's random as fuck." The three of you guys is a random trio of people who started a podcast together.
Because we have, dude. So we have like great conversations between the three of us all the time, and it fucking sucks typing for like 3 hours with your buddies. You know what I mean? And like I'm obviously like the wild man who will just say whatever and tell you what I think, and Greg's kind of like a little more on the quiet side, and Constantine was like the brain. And the brains have left, so now it's the wild man and what we originally called the banana man. And if you look up like
That's right.
the morning zoo radio type shit, that's like the straight guy.
Now you have you and Jeffrey Dahmer too. That's cool.
That's right.
Yeah, and until they find the bodies.
What's the podcast about? Just same shit, celebrity stuff, talking or like anything? You guys nailing specific topics? What are you guys doing?
We're trying to be like a little more PA centric, just because that's how most people know us. But also, I think like we both have opinions about things, and there's a lot of shit that happens in like the culture and in politics that it's a lot easier to have a conversation about than to tweet about. And especially being in leadership, it's like, hey, it's better for us to like talk some shit out and have conversations and shoot the shit and say the things people don't want to say. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
So I had Kyle and Jacob on last week to talk about post LPPA stuff. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that again this week. But just because I am curious, because you guys are actually positioned in the actual XCOM of PA, so it's a little different from coming from you guys. So what do you guys think post convention?
Well, there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of stuff that wasn't done prior to this, and we've been missing quite a bit of information. I was telling those guys yesterday and the day before that I'm working between 4 and 6 hours a night just on trying to get everything caught up. So, trying to get our committees organized, trying to get the minutes done, trying to get all this stuff taken care of and in line for us going forward. It's just been an uphill battle. Luckily we've got some really good people on the inside that are helping us out, making moves. But yeah, it's been a really hectic past 12 days now. So
yeah, what do you think, Ant?
Oh, I like sleep.
Yeah,
haven't gotten a lot of it lately because honestly, we've been really working hard to kind of like pick up the pieces of what was left to us. At the same time, building a strategy for like what to do with what we have while still figuring out what we have. It's a little bit chaotic at times, but also in the meantime, we have a lot of shit going on. So we're running like right now we have potentially like 30 plus candidates for state rep across PA statewide. So that's pretty awesome.
That is
because
awesome.
of redistricting, we only need 3,000 signatures for a state rep. So that's going to help all our candidates at the top of the ballot, like Tim McMaster, Matt Hackenberg, Eric Gerhardt. So plus those are winnable races after COVID. You know what I mean? Like I'm on the ballot myself. Yeah, I'm on the ballot myself. I was going to convince Greg to run if someone out his way didn't do it first. But
I'm the chair of my county, and I basically said I will not do it unless nobody else does in the county, and we've got one other guy doing it, and I'm trying to talk. I know Rasso into it, but I don't think he's going to do it. So I'm thinking maybe somebody else might be doing it. So if I have 2 people in my county, I'm not going to jump on, but if I have to, I absolutely will.
That's a lot of work, man, to like run for office like that. Like it's a lot of work. I mean, the signature thing alone is a lot.
But think about this. If the first year that, the fucking GOP plants, the Fourth Reich, whatever fucking
all accurate,
like whatever name you want to call us, if the first year we're in power, we get ballot access at the top of the ballot, and better still, potentially get someone in the PA House who has any validity in any shit they talk about us at that point.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong for sure. It's I'm saying it's a lot of work to put yourself through. So it's like, it's also to probably not win. I mean, the messaging is the important part, I guess, but but
also
putting your life on hold.
But if you think about it this way, like what better opportunity do we have? Right? Like how often are you going to get to shape the direction of a state political party. So that's really the opportunity that's in front of us. And it's up to us to make this a party that people take seriously, specifically the liberty movement people and, the disaffected R's and D's who are like, hey, you don't like mask mandates or vax mandates? Cool,
Yeah.
I'm on your team. I don't care what letter is next to your name. You got to take advantage of that.
Right. If you have the right messaging, you can go a long way. And there's some really good messaging points. Anti-vax, the COVID mandate stuff. There's a lot of really great things that we are on the right side of that we can really make headway. What I'm most optimistic about as far as being on the XCOM is we have a great team together that can actually put building blocks in place to push the party forward and the libertarian movement forward. And that's really important because before that, we just had a couple individuals doing a lot of work. But now we have an entire team that's dedicated to this movement and pushing it forward. So I think we have some really, really strong building blocks going forward.
Yeah, no, for sure. I also just got like a bunch of DMs be like, "Oh, you're doing the same as Dave Smith's thing." I'm sorry, this was planned before his thing. All right, like, what do you want me to fucking do? Like, Jesus Christ. Fucking Mark said, "Am I drunk or is Anthony all blurry?" No, he's all blurry for sure.
Yeah,
No,
blurry
he's definitely all
background.
blurry. How fucked is like Greg, especially like you, the secretary? Like, how much? I know the Bonnie was good though, but like, I'm sure you see more behind the scenes stuff. How hard is it to get all this shit from the old regime?
Okay, so I'll put it this way. Bonnie has done a great job
Yeah.
at getting me any information that I've needed, and she's helped me through quite a bit of stuff. And actually, Fetzko, the chair of the IS committee, has done a really good job with working with me to get a couple things and pushing me and putting me in the right direction a lot of more than once already. But it's been difficult trying to get all the information. I had to actually put the new bylaw in that we got in, just our one bylaw that we got passed this past convention, and I actually had to end up retyping the entire bylaws because I didn't have the file to do it. So I had to literally go through and retype all the bylaws.
Oh, you mean like everything from scratch?
Everything from scratch.
Dude, you're a better man than me. I would be like, nah, I'm just gonna quit. I'm just gonna quit. Like, there's no way I'm doing that. I'm quitting. I'm quit. And this is why I can't be run for anything past what I do. Because like I know I don't have that patience in me, especially because they're fucking with us. Isn't that? It wasn't just like a clerical, like, oh, sorry, it was a true accent. Like, no, we're gonna make this miserable for you. It's like that. Knowing that too, on top of it, it's like, nah, I'm not gonna be that guy. So I'm glad we have guys like you and women like Laura and like Hackenberg and all that stuff who are like, nah, I'm gonna sit there and wait through this shit and fucking do that. But good for you guys. But again, we don't have to rehash all the LPPA stuff. And any last thoughts or words you guys want to talk about LPPA, and then we can move on and just talk about other stuff that's going on in the news.
I really think people are going to be surprised with what this team is putting together. I mean that sincerely. Like, we have a lot of impressive people working on the strategy for the direction of the party, and they're so impressive they make you want to be a better person. Even if you think you're an impressive person yourself, you're like, no, that guy's so much better than me. And it's awesome because everybody is willing to put in the time and grind for it. And when everybody sees the work that we're doing, it's gonna be fun to watch the reactions.
Well, here's something we can talk about that's not so much LPPA convention related, but LPPA related, which I'm not talking about, is the Solosky running independent against us, and then all the people who decided they're going to help him run against active libertarians, which I think is very hilariously, what's the word? Oh yeah, hypocritical.
Dude, the best is the people who don't know the difference between nobody and none of the above. Doesn't make sense to me.
It's just we're all libertarians, so we all have that, I think, pet peeve of like rules for thee and not for me. Like, we all hate that. Like, any type of thing like that. I pretty much libertarians be like, no, it's a pet peeve of mine. Like, I hate that shit. But that's what this is. That's what this is, though, right? It's like a lot of that. Like, before we took over the XCOM, it was like, you guys don't run libertarian candidates. You guys don't get libertarians elected on ballots. You guys don't care about libertarian candidates. Da 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 da. Cool. We win, and now you are actively running an independent who was a libertarian who we didn't want against 2 libertarian candidates who we put up. Well, one, I guess, technically just Matt, but you know what I'm saying? Put up against Matt now, Hackenberg, after just bitching to us for a year and a half about how we don't give a shit about libertarian candidates. I mean, right? It makes me want to fucking punch all the fucking holes in the wall, dude. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's a little hypocritical. You know, and I don't have the animosity towards Solosky like a lot of other people do. I wasn't there for a lot of it. I don't agree with some of the stuff that he did, but where that line kind of crossed for me is whenever he decided to run as an independent. If you're delivering, you want to deliver a same type of message. Now you're going to actively work against the party that you were trying to get ballot access for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You know, you should be putting all your efforts into, you know, whoever the party decided at that point.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, even before he officially ran as independent, I was off. Once he called us all cancers and stuff, I was like, hey, man, like, you're a man. And like, men's words have consequences. That's just how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, like, that's the other thing about, like, especially libertarians that really upsets me as a dude, where it's like, they'll be like, well, you're breaking the nap. It's like, hey, fuck all that shit. We're men first. We're men first, and then I'm a libertarian. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like when dudes run their fucking mouth in this party and they'll hide behind words like, oh, just words, or I didn't mean it, or I didn't say it like that. It's like, no, dude, you're a fucking man. And with that carries a heavy weight of consequence. You want to say that a large portion of the fucking people that work hard for this party every month in the state are cancers because you don't agree with us and a little bit of what we do things. Hey, man, you could actively get fucked. Like, for real. Like, I truly, you're a piece of shit. Like, I don't give a fuck about you. Like, that was all the other stuff is whatever. He's being a fucking cunt. Once it said that, you're calling me a cancer? I'm a cancer to the party. Well, I have multiple DMs from people from multiple platforms being like, hey, man, listen to your podcast, or I've seen you do stand-up. I'm like, I followed you, and like, I'm helping out the party now. Which, again, I'm a small fucking fish in the pond of that. There are other people in our own party who do that better than I do. My point is, though, like, I'm helping grow the fucking state party, and you're gonna call me a fucking cancer because you don't like that I might disagree with you one way or so about the other thing about how we run things here. Fuck you, dude. Like, get the fuck. No, so that is a line that crossed. Like, so yeah, the libertarian line or the fucking independent line, that was just a second line that was crossed. That was like a cartoon where you're like, cross this line and you're fucking dead, and he crosses it. And that was the line of, you know, we're all cancers. And they're like, all right, well, cross this line, you're dead. This is the independent line. And he crossed. It's like this man, you're already fucking dead from the first line, dude. Fuck him. You know what I'm saying? All right, my rant's over. Sorry.
Bro, I saw the vote counts. My cancer won 4-1. So,
right, yeah.
I mean, cancer is pretty rampant in the Libertarian Party, I guess. At least in Pennsylvania. But also, it's like, come on, man. You can't alienate your voting interest if you want people to support you. And we're still, like, there's other shit going on that no one wants to talk about publicly because people are still trying to play nice for reasons I won't say. But, like, how about changing all your social media and website to say independent candidate and then saying you're not sure if you're running still?
Yeah.
That's more egregious because at least we know what Joe Solosky's about.
Right. And Audrey bringing up a good point about Sarwark's comment about the Jew when he quote tweeted Dave Smith about him saying he's anti-circumcision. And he said Jewish in quotes. Like, yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. It's like they project so much onto us what they truly are in their hearts. And it's so obvious as they spiral more and more out of control, it just comes more and more to the top. Like, we always saw it, but now you're just seeing more and more of it publicly, way more of it than you ever did even last year. You know, I mean, I was just one of them that happened today or whatever the fuck that happened. That tweet happened today, yesterday, whatever the fuck. You know, it's wild.
The best comment I saw about him was maybe he gets sexual gratification from getting owned online because everything he writes is douchey.
Well, but you know, I was making this joke at the convention, but I was like, do you ever get tired of just getting publicly dog walked? Like, as an adult man, like, do you ever just get tired of getting just fucking shit on by so many people? Like, as a human being, when did you like, I got tapped out of my sanity? Like, I mean, when? Like, I don't know, dude. It just.
I think every state should be a mutual combat state. a lot less people would talk shit if you could be like, "Hey, motherfucker, let's go
I
outside,"
fucking agree.
and not get in trouble for it.
I agree.
The thing I like is that Sarwalk's not the only one. There are plenty of people who are like that constantly are just okay with getting beat down on a regular basis. I don't understand it. Like I know that I'm not the most intelligent person, but I'm going to do my best to not have myself scrutinized at every corner just because something I say. It doesn't make sense.
No,
Yeah,
I agree.
I won't try to correct my smartphone when it corrects my bad spelling either.
Right.
You should. No, that you should do. You should definitely spell correctly and not look retarded.
Well, that's what I mean. It looks. Some people seem to put an effort into not fucking listening to autocorrect. It's very strange.
Yeah. No, I mean we have people in this own state who get publicly dog walked on Twitter all the time, who rename nameless, but we all know who they are. It's like, dude, do you not get tired of getting ratioed? Like, is that like I could? Here's the thing: it's like you could be delusional all you want outside of online, right? But once you're online and you have physical numbers in your face showing you, like, oh, here's how many people agree with me, and here's how many people shitting on me, and the list is like this, right? So it's like you have to see it. You can't hide it.
Unless you're so delusional that you believe you're right in your convictions and you're the victim and everybody else is wrong.
Sure.
Then you're the hero in your own mind, fighting demons on Twitter all day, spelling words incorrectly. And
it's tiring, dude. Like I look at the Cathedral post. They'll post in like the libertarian like discussion group and PA and all that shit. Look at their engagement.
6 people.
It's maybe, dude, maybe 6 people. That's a lot. 6. And it's by the way, it's the same. If it is 6, it's the same 6 people.
Yep.
It's the same. It's no. So it's like that's a true echo chamber. I mean, that's a true echo chamber, dude. Because
I mean, I'd say circle jerk, but echo chamber.
Circle
works.
jerk echo chamber, a gross sticky echo chamber.
I was thinking about this the other day with the Cathedral Caucus. They were designed to be the anti-takeover caucus, right?
Failed.
What now that the party is taken over? That right. Caucus doesn't stand for anything at this point, other than just to shit on everybody and have their 3 or 4 followers pay attention.
They think they're still like defeating. Like they think like going to the state against us is like still defeating us. Like that's why.
They're like the QAnon of the LPPA at this point. They're like they forged ballots. They stole.
If I named episodes, that would be the name of this episode. LPPA or the Cathedral. QAnon of the LPPA. That would have been the name of this episode. Yeah, Bill Cox. That's funny. Their engagement is the same as the amount of support they had at the convention.
and I want to shout out Joel Getz because he also made a good point. He was like, "Hey, if your friends lost and you abandoned them, you're a pussy.
You piece of shit."
So anything you say online means nothing.
Nothing, yeah. No, I agree. It's psychotic. It's fucking psychotic, dude. It's a lot of delusion. Again, like even reading those posts, I just laugh. Like the comic in me wants to, like, my thumbs are like shit on them, right? Like because it's so easy. Like I can just say ratio and I'll ratio them like in a tweet. I could just quote tweet a Cathedral tweet or a Libertarian Defense Fund tweet and just say ratio. And I guarantee I'll have 100 likes and fucking 25 retweets ratioing them, right?
Cool.
But like I don't do it because it gives them a voice. And you're giving them a reason to keep going. So like I have to push down the comic in me and think of like the libertarian Mises Caucus guy in me. Be like, well, what helps us out more? Me shitting on them, which is funny. Sure. But like it doesn't really I just keep they're there. So I just let it go. But like in my head, I'm like, oh, I have that to say. It'd be so funny. I can say that would be so funny, but I just let it go. I
generally text those things to you.
Yeah, or we'll say them to each other on the phone. Like I had this joke earlier. I had to say to somebody. Like, what do you think of it?
Yo, so can we talk about some positive shit real quick? How about in July in Madison, PA? We're having a fucking festival, bro.
Oh yeah, I got condoms to go into this.
Yes, you did. But you're also getting paid for coming.
Yeah, I know,
So
but
don't act
I
like you're,
want
don't
so
act
much
like
more.
you're like some fucking martyr.
I know, but I want so much more money for 5-hour drive. I'm such a, I guess how much I hate driving. I'm like, could you give me $5 million? Could you
In
guys squeeze in a
fairness-
$5 million?
In fairness, I got more money than you asked me for, so you're
Oh,
welcome.
thanks. That is fair. I retract what I said. I'm very happy for this thing in July.
Now you're the piece of shit.
I'm very excited for this thing in July. In fact, I was never not excited. That was a joke. I'm funny. Haha, do bits here. Super excited.
Well, Portillo, give us some details about that. What's going on?
All right, so it's essentially we're in Madison, PA. The property we're going to be at is called the Barn at Madison, PA. We're going to have a Whiskey Rebellion event from July 7th through 10th. It's going to be an annual thing. We're LPP's kind of putting it together, but it's not an LPPA event. It's whoever wants to be involved.
Was it July
type
9th,
event.
right?
July 7th through 10th, but you're going to be there to the 9th.
That's all that matters to me.
Yeah, so we have a couple metal bands coming. We have a bluegrass band people are talking to, and a couple other bands. We have Nutter doing comedy. Robbie Bernstein's coming out. He's going to do a live podcast plus a full comedy set. We're trying to get someone out there with machine guns. And
Sick.
yeah, dude, it's just going to be a good time, a good weekend. Everybody just hanging out, kicking loose on private property. You can bring the older kids and, you know, let them hang out with the old folks and shoot guns and drink whiskey. It's a good time.
That's awesome. Sorry,
love
I was putting it in my calendar officially so I don't forget it.
Dude, I would be so pissed at you if I called you Friday and was like, "When are you leaving?" And you're like, "For what?"
I'd be like, dude, I'm already there. Like, you don't see me? I'm in the blue shirt. I just keep saying I'm in the blue shirt.
I'll confuse you with Mark Bizzacco.
Oh yeah. I'd be so funny if Mark gets forced to do like 40 minutes of comedy. He's like, I'm not Adam Nutter. Like, I was like, yeah, now how you like it, motherfucker? Flip the shit on him. You dickhead. Yeah, that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna enjoy that. Is Kyle coming out to do his band? Is his band coming out?
Yeah, they're one.
Cool. I actually want to see Kyle's band. I'm gonna give him the same compliment he gave me. I'm gonna go, dude, I gotta be honest with you. I thought you were gonna be good, but you were really way better than I thought you'd be. That's what I'm gonna say to him.
Well, it's funny when he asked me and Mark what we were doing the 30th. I was like, "Yo, are we going to Pittsburgh?" Right? Like I was thinking, I'm taking a Friday off and we're taking a road trip to party with him and like see his band or some shit. And he's like, "No, you guys just want to do my podcast." I'm like, "Oh, cool." I mean, not that that's not fun.
I do want to do a show in Pittsburgh this summer. I think that'd be fun.
I mean, you're doing a show in Pittsburgh. We
No,
just
but like
talked about
Pittsburgh proper, like down, like actual the
Fair
city
enough.
of. That'd be cool. But yeah, I also think that'll be something that like I already see a lot more happening now. Is like a lot more social gatherings in the LPPA, like people doing shit as opposed to the old guard where it's like no one does anything together.
because we like each other.
Yeah. Thank you, Allison, for that history part. Madison, PA was named for James Madison.
I was surprised she only gave us a sentence. I
I'm
saw that comment and I was like,
shocked.
"Wow, Allison must be tired tonight."
She's probably writing her dissertation about Madison, PA. So give her 5 minutes. Fuck, dude. She thoroughly knows her shit.
You should
all right,
do a Patreon with Allison and watch like National Treasure or some like movie about history
watch
and
her
watch her
shit,
pick it
just
pick it
destroy
apart.
it. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. I did want to talk about this topic, but I was gonna do a solo stream. I was like, nah, fuck it. I'll just talk about it with you guys maybe tonight. The whole Leah Thomas thing or whatever the fuck, the swimmer.
Oh man.
And like the whole outrage and stuff like that. And like, I mean, again, yeah, go ahead.
Did you see the videos from like inside the arena?
No.
I almost felt bad for them. I'm gonna say that to be safe, but I did because they won the race and got booed by like a majority of the building.
I mean,
and the
that
second
should
place
happen. Yeah,
finisher got like a standing ovation, and then Ron DeSantis put out like a whole proclamation from the state of Florida today, which I'm like, hey, that's true.
Yeah,
Like, I almost want to enter a women's competition just to prove
there's
that.
there's this bullshit like lie going around where they're like, all the medicine and stuff doesn't lower bone density and muscle mass, and that's not true. It stays pretty much the same, your bone density and muscle mass throughout all of it. Like it will weaken over time, but like time. And that's like the case of Fallon Fox from MMA a few years ago. I don't know if you guys remember who that was, but she transitioned from a man to she was a male MMA fighter, was not good, had a very shitty record, transitioned to the female, started lighting chicks up, not because he was better or he got better. He was just stronger than them and would hit them, and they'd be like, I just got hit by I'm essentially got hit by a dude, like, with the dude muscle and strength. And then Ashley Evans Smith, she's like, I'll fight her. I want to fight her because she's a good fighter. And she fucked her up. And I was like, yeah, because you're a shitty fighter. You're just beating up women is what you were doing. You're taking advantage. Yeah.
Ended a chick's career, by the way. Like, that was it.
Which is again, swimming isn't a contact competition or anything like that. So, like, at least these other women aren't getting hurt physically. But, like, MMA is one. Again, I know football is no, but, like, basketball would be one that would be dominant. Imagine LeBron just transitioning, like, I'm going to play women WNBA now. He would have 400 points a game. Like, he would have quadruple somehow every night. Like, he would break. I mean, there's no way he would. It's all bullshit. And then there's this other thing of, like, I saw this defense from the left a lot where it's like, oh, so just because you transition from man to woman, that means you could beat a woman? It's like, I'm not in shape or talented now. It's like, yeah, you would still lose. We're not talking about you fucking idiot. We're talking about somebody who trained as a man in a sport their whole fucking life and then transitioned. They have a giant skill set, not just some fat loser getting off the couch like you think you are. Like, that's also the wildness of the left. Like, they're comparing themselves to other athletes still. And I'm like, you're not an athlete. Yeah, you can't do that. You're right. You can't get in a cage and fight a female because you'll get your ass kicked. But if you train for 7 years, then transitioned, you would fuck up most chicks. Like, it's just how it goes. So, like, that shit, I get, especially as a guy who played football and did MMA myself, and, like, I know the damage that can be done from other men. Like, it just makes me sick to my fucking stomach to see that shit go on.
Also, as a guy who has a daughter, I'm like, yo, if my daughter, like, dedicated a portion of her life to become the best at a thing, and someone else,
and she physically, no matter what, cannot be better because the other person's physical structure is set up for it.
I mean, in fairness, though, can we all agree that dicks are superior?
There you go. I mean, we got Audrey. We got Audrey saying it right there. On transitioning, still blow every woman away on the Peloton leaderboards. Anyone saying this there's advantages flat out, lying flat out. Exactly. And that's the other thing that they always try to turn. You're transphobic. You're this. I go, I'm trying to not have people beat the shit out of women. Is all I'm trying to do. Like, go compete in men's sports. Why? No one's stopping you. Like, I wouldn't care. There's no advantage there. So go for it. Just like, by the way, actually, I'll flip it on its head right now. If this is true, if there is no difference and a man transitioning to a woman has no competitive advantage in swimming or anything like that, then where are all the women transitioning to men blowing the men out of the water? Where is it? Show me one. Go.
Maybe sewing. That was a competition.
You can't show me one woman transitioning to a man who's like, I'm actually D1 LSU quarterback now. Show me. Please show me. And I don't mean fucking swimming. I'm talking show me a fucking sport. Baseball, basketball, football. Show me one. MMA, wrestling, something where a woman transitioned to a man and just ran away with it.
Why not have a separate category? You know what I mean?
Because I asked that before. Because that's inclusionary or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Exclusionary.
Whatever the fuck.
Bullshit. Yeah. It's
here's a quick
in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, here's a quick stat for you. In men's swimming, before he transitioned, he was number 462 in the country, and now she's number 1.
I was told that sharing that was transphobic.
Yeah. So
how?
It's the same thing as sharing, like, ethnicities of people who commit crimes in urban areas. That's racist.
Yeah.
But also, like demographically it kind of makes sense because some of those areas are populated by a predominantly said racist.
Everything's
So it's like, how is that
nuanced.
racist to just say facts? Like now anything you say can get you in trouble. And since we're talking about that, here's a fun one, right? Is now how much shit is coming out that before you could get canceled for.
Right. Hold on.
Like-
Audrey made a point, which is good. There was an American cyclist that made it to the Olympics as a man having transitioned from a woman. Right. Cycling, which is super hard and grueling, especially Tour de France and Olympic shit. But like, you're probably still lighter because your bone density doesn't change and stuff, and your muscle, even if you get, I think, testosterone, it changes other parts of you. I'm not, again, over time it does, but not right away. I could be wrong on that. I'm not super sure about the testosterone one. But again, cycling, you're not physically like having them push out another dude. Like, so, it's different. I mean, it's still impressive, but it's just different. It's just different. I think, in my opinion, it is anyway. But I don't know. It's just weird seeing, again, like the left, like not defending natural born women. Like they're just letting them get the shit kicked out of them and like championing for it almost in a way. It's weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah. And I mean, there are some distinctly impressive female athletes in their own right, but when it comes down to it, biologically, females aren't going to compete with males on a professional level.
Exactly,
or
right.
if there are, it's going to be very, very rare occasions.
And again, it's like in what sport we talk. That's it's very sport specific. Again, show me a top WNBA player going against top NBA player. Dude, 0 points. Right, 0 points we put on that dude. I mean, think about like NBA players play each other one-on-one in the offseason and they shut each other out. And that's 2 professional NBA players.
Yeah.
Now you're going to tell me that a WNBA player is going to fucking drill 21 points on LeBron James? Dude, suck my dick. There's no fucking way. There's no way. It's just not happening, dude. And like, you can? No, I can't either. This isn't about me or you or anybody. I'm saying professional athletes. This is a professional athlete argument. This is or a collegiate athlete argument, whatever. This is the athlete argument, not a washed up athlete argument like me. I'm out of it. Yeah, a lot of women could probably beat me in a lot of things now. I can't even run a mile, dude. I'll fucking I'll be out of breath. Like, you guys got it. Just go. Like, I get that. But like, still though, if you were like, go fight this chick, like who's training, let's say this chick's training MMA. And I have someone who's me, 10 years MMA experience. Yeah, I haven't trained in mad long. Be like, hey, go just do one round with her. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna knock the chick the fuck out. Like, there's no way I'm not. Like, there's no way I'm not. It just. I mean, maybe, but the likelihood of me not is so low, right? It's just this fallacy of lies, and they're gonna get people hurt. Is my also fear. But like,
the other side of that is a thing that they don't talk about, and I did a lot of research about this a few years ago. Johns Hopkins University was one of the first ones to do gender reassignment surgery. And they followed the lives of people they did the surgeries on, obviously, because that's a huge life-changing event. And one of the things that their study showed was that when people detransition, they get like the suicide rate jumps like 8 times because you can't even talk about that publicly. You can't even talk about making that choice and then regretting it later in life because that makes you a transphobe.
Yeah, no, it's the fact that it's like, hey, so kids can make life-altering decisions. Cool, send them to war. They can make life-altering decisions. Let them drink. You know what? Pedophilia, fuck it, right? Because kids can consent to anything. What difference does it make now? When you start, that sounds crazy, but that doesn't. But them putting life-changing drugs into a child isn't crazy. That decision's okay, but the other ones aren't.
Let me give you a fun real-life example of that. My son is 18 years old. I've been teaching that kid how to cook bacon for literally 6 years, and he still burns fucking bacon.
Yeah,
right? Like, do you think that he can make some? Like, do you think I'm gonna be like, hey, go ahead, move out of the house, you'll figure it out? Like, no, because that's insane. They can't. He's an adult and still doesn't have a ton of shit figured out.
I'm like, dude, I'm 35,
and he's not a sheltered kid. I'm like, that's crazy.
Like, I make so many mistakes still at 35. Your frontal cortex isn't that developing until 25 years old. 25 years old. We shouldn't even be drinking until we're 25 years old. Like, what I'm saying? Like, we should be doing so many things not till we're 25 years old. So the fact that the left and all these fucking dumb other libertarians, lefty libertarians, are like, yeah, just it doesn't do any life changing effect. Yeah, it does. I could pull up studies that it does. What are you talking about? And a lot of this is irreversible. That's a lie. Stop peddling lies onto children and stop trying to. It's fucking pedophilia shit, dude. Fuck out of here.
It's just selective narrative, dude. Like they want to tell you the part of the story that's going to elicit emotional response, so you agree with what they want you to do.
Right.
It's like, you know, on Twitter they show you the fucking story about the trans woman in Kiev who can't get out because
Right.
her passport says male. But they don't tell you that in Ukraine, if you're an 18 to 60-year-old male, you're not allowed to leave the country
Right.
because they might throw a gun in your hand and tell you to go fight some Russians.
Right.
They also, the same people on the left who are putting fucking Ukrainian flags in their profile pictures were calling us Nazis for positions that we have that are just sensible political positions. And there are literal Nazis in the Ukrainian army fighting Russians.
Yeah. That
It's
is funny.
nuts. Dude, I looked at Drudge yesterday and they had like a $1 billion monster talking about Putin and like, hey, I think he's a fucking evil dude, but they're shitting on this guy because he has an expensive yacht. It's like, you fucking love that LeBron has a Bugatti, but because you hate this guy, he's not allowed to be rich. That makes it evil. Like, oh, you can celebrate the billionaires that fucking funnel money into your campaigns and censor the people you don't like. But if it's someone on the opposition, they can't have Mark Zuckerberg money because they're gonna end the world. It's all just
which is
fear
also
tactics
again,
and-
which is the funny thing. Like fuck the GOP, right? Who gives a shit? But it's funny how like the left is always like, if you vote Republican, they'll ruin your city. The cities, every major city is run by the left, every single one, and they're all shit. They've been shit for 50 fucking years. So how is the right or libertarians, whatever, fucking you up? Like it's crazy, dude.
And if you think about it, like the left has literally succeeded in deteriorating the whole society in
Dude,
so many ways.
yes.
Like you're 35, I'm 39. I won't tell you how old Greg is. I'll let you guess or find it
67.
on the police report when
66.
they find that girl. But if you think about it, like when we were kids in like the 80s and 90s, it was like America was about toughness. You work hard, you could do anything. How many celebrities told us like, hey, you can do anything you want as long as you work for it? And somewhere in the culture, people were like, hey, losing sucks, so let's give trophies to losers. And let's stop saying if you work hard, let's act as if you're owed something. And that became the easier path. But also at the same time, if you think about it, that easier path has made more people depressed, more people fat, more people suicidal, more people in shitty relationships. It literally leads to nowhere. And that's what they want because they want you dependent on the state.
Yep.
And if you have a strong family and you have a fucking group of people in community with each other that are being successful, they hate that.
I had I had an independent thought, and then fucking someone told me about this book, and it was the same thought. I was like, well, I didn't know that, so I'm gonna take it as my own. But I'm sure you guys apparently this is the popular book, Coddling of the American Youth or something like that, or the American Mind, or okay, yeah. My theory, which is also this guy's theory, which turned out to be like I said this before on the podcast. So sorry if I'm listening again, but like I always wondered like why Gen Z sucks so hard. Like why is the young generation so into authority and government? Like why? And I'm thinking about it, and then you look back at like, okay, well, I'm a millennial technically, right? I'm born in 86. It's from 80 to like 90 something, right? Like 94 or
I'm
something.
an elder millennial, apparently.
Yeah. So I'm a millennial born in 86. Okay, well, my parents were born in 55. They were baby boomers. Okay, their parents, my grandparents, that's the greatest generation, right? So I look at how did that generation raise their kids? Well, not great. Like a lot of it, like just fuck off, do whatever the fuck you want, like type thing. So the boomer generation got a little better, but still a lot of like fuck off. We don't really care about because remember their kids were mostly Gen X also, Gen X and millennials, right? The Gen X generation, they're the ones who kind of got like abandoned by their parents a lot. The boomer generation,
the latchkey kids,
right? And then they, to compensate for their lack of childhood, overcompensate for their kids because like I don't want these kids to have what I had growing up. So everything is like, oh, I'll handle that for you. Oh, I'll handle that for you. Or this teacher will handle that. It was always so these kids are conditioned to just look for a figure of authority instead of figuring out yourself. As opposed to me in the 90s growing up, when I would just get sent out on the street, like, go play. Oh, you're going to do a fight? Did you fight back? No, you should next time. There was no like,
Right.
let me go to his parents. Like,
Oh,
that was very far and few between.
I had it. Oh, that kid punched you? You better go punch him tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I had.
But like that shit though, like helped me, like not look for people to like. I'm big on not owing favors, and I'm big on like I'll figure it out myself or I'll gather it myself. You know what I'm saying? Even with my wife, like I won't ask her to like get her shirt down for me. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. Like, not because it's like, oh, I'm trying to like fix stereotyping. I don't give a fuck about that. It's just like a thing of like, I don't want you to owe a shirt. You know what I'm saying? I don't want her to be like, oh, remember the time I got you the shirt? Get my shoe. And I'll just get your shoes because I want your shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that owed favor for shit. So I like, and their generation's only like, I want stuff. Like, I need things. I don't want to do it. And that's that whole fucking generation to me. It's just coddled fucking bitches, dude.
In fairness, I identify with Gen X, but I'm also Latino, so I've already asked my girl to get me a drink while we were doing this podcast.
Hey, Maureen, get me a drink too.
But also, I think you're onto something. But then add to the fact that like kids weren't going outside because their parents didn't get attention they wanted from their parents, so they became helicopter parents.
Mhm.
And now those kids are stuck in the house, and all that energy they would have spent outside, they have inside. And then what's the answer to that? Ritalin,
Video
Adderall, video games, right? So then you condition your kid to distract themselves and medicate themselves.
Yeah.
And how much, like you talked about, like we shouldn't even drink till we're 25. Well, how much do you think methamphetamine affects young children in their most developmental years?
Right.
You think that doesn't have a long-term effect on them? That kid isn't going to be a different adult because you drugged him for 2/3 of his life?
Right. But if you got to drive cross country, take meth. It'll keep you up. You know?
Oh, definitely. I mean, and listen, when you're an adult, do all the meth you want. I don't care. I think meth should be legal. It's your choice.
No, yeah, I agree. It's a lot of helicopter parenting that fucked them up for sure. It's just really weird, dude. It's like, again, like coming from our generation was like fuck. I feel like the millennial generation was the last fuck authority generation.
They were.
Think about it. Think back around the 90s. We didn't look up the government.
Bro, here's the crazy part. How about Rage Against the Machine?
Yeah,
is
well,
pushing
money,
vaccines.
money. That's
right?
what that is.
Yeah, right. Like, how about they only play like corporate sponsored arenas, and tickets for their shows are $180 for the nosebleeds?
Dude, actually,
how about
think,
the Offspring, who literally had a song on one of their albums that if I said right now, your show would be taken off YouTube.
Yeah,
and they fired their drummer for not getting vaccinated.
Yep.
That's insane.
I think you said something interesting too when you like the left infiltrated, like they infiltrated culture, and I'll tell you why they infiltrated culture, because the right thought it was stupid. They thought movies and shit was stupid. They're like, it's movies and TV. Who gives a fuck? And the left was like, thanks, boop. You guys watch this shit too, stupids. Like they were brilliant for that. I'll give them that.
It's like, didn't they learn anything from the CIA? Honestly, like if you are a student of history, think about back to like the Cold War era, right? Like back in the Cold War era, the Soviets were shitting on us for how we treated African Americans, right? And what were we doing? We were putting them in movies in situations that they never would have been able to be in real life in America at the time, right? They're just creating whole new narratives. They've done it forever. As long as there was media, they've created narratives that were just incongruent with the reality that we see every day. And anyone who opposed that was, a Russian asset or, a double agent or an operative or a traitor. It's all just bullshit, man. And the problem is to convince people that you have to convince people that they have like the power to do something themselves. And when you condition people for long enough, they just don't see it that way. It's definitely like a mindset thing. You know what I mean? Like it's that like the fucking Tony Robbins and those guys call it like fixed mindset versus like a growth mindset. Like a fixed mindset's like, hey, this is just how I am. And a growth mindset's like, hey, I have this shitty behavior. I should probably look at myself, figure that out, and like be a better person, because that's going to improve the world around me. And it's like the lack of introspection in the world today just boggles my mind.
Yep, there's something
and
really
that's a big part of it.
There's something really big to be said about being able to say that you're wrong, and that goes to your point where it's so much harder to convince people to stay out of their ways, because a lot of people don't want to admit that they were wrong about something, and they're so stuck in their ways and so stuck at listening to a narrative that they're not willing to listen and make a change.
Yeah, I know. I agree. It's funny also. Also, one other funny thing. I just realized you're wearing a shirt that says MAPS. That's hilarious. We just talked about pedophile shit, and you're wearing a MAPS.
It's actually for muscular aptitude something. It's like a mind pump.
It stands for minor attracted persons, and we all know.
I know, but also it's a fitness podcast I listen to, so I was trying to be funny wearing the shirt. It says MAPS Aesthetics, so I like ripped minors. You gotta have single-digit body fat for me to pay attention.
That's fair. That's fair. Hit the jungle gym, kid.
Right?
Do some fucking pulse.
Let me see how you work those monkey bars.
No, this is why people don't take me seriously, because I'm a fucking comic first, and like I'm gonna make the pedophile. Of course, I'm gonna make that joke. Like I cannot make that joke. I can't make that joke about a sexy kid working out. That's crazy. I have to make that joke.
Right. Like I show people a picture from me when I was like in my Catholic school year. I went for 1 year and they kicked me out because it was like the Vanilla Ice year. So I had lines shaved in the side of my head.
Of course,
I had a class outside the principal's
That's our
office.
culture, you fucking Hispanic.
Dude,
don't rip our white culture. Don't white rapper culture.
I'm almost 40. It's embarrassing, honestly, but also it's great during karaoke. But so I have this picture, and it's just a handsome picture of me when I was a kid. So anytime someone sees that picture, I'm like, I was a pretty fuckable kid. And it makes everyone cringe. And I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, because if someone goes, yeah, that guy's a pedophile, that's why. I mean, which I guess is a good test to trick a pedophile into outing himself real quick. Like, this kid fuckable? And he goes, yeah, no, no. And then you're like, I got you. Dude, my favorite, do you guys watch those like homemade pedophiles things?
Oh, they're great.
Greg,
I almost want to, I wish I had more time.
With it.
I do them myself.
Yeah. I have not.
He's too busy in his shanty.
Yeah, stop being creepy in the shanty and be creepy on TikTok. Go watch fucking pedophiles things, and it's people who like do their own again what law enforcement does with themselves, and they'll like coax these fucking creeps into like Walmart, and just like two dudes waiting for them with cameras. And be like, this dude's here to fuck a 13-year-old, and the guy's like, what? And he's just like running out of dude. It's so funny. Go watch it. Like, go watch them. I can't tell you, they're the fucking best. And then like people will just because like I just always think like, what happens if that was me in that scenario? Like, how would I react? Right? First of all, run away. Just turn around. And
why stay and defend yourself?
Stop. Don't. Never run. Never stop. Forrest Gump. Keep going. Never stop running. And some people just like will stop and they'll sit down with them and they'll be like, yo, call your mom, tell her you fuck kids. And they do.
Yeah. Yo, can I tell you a hilarious one of those? There was a dude from Philly, this black dude.
EDP.
Was in yes. I watched his videos, bro, and then I legit subscribed to his channel. And then I saw him on the pedophile hunter, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Okay, I got to explain who this guy is. This guy, he goes by his nickname is online handles like EDP. This big dude, big fat dude. Yeah, his handle name was EDP, like a giant Philadelphia Eagles fan, like giant Eagles fan. And he would just go on rants on the internet. He was funny, like he was funny, like he would go on funny rants. It's like Then he got caught, not once, but twice. By this same group of pedophile hunters. The second time he got caught was funnier because like, you again? He's like, yeah, I know. Also, the funniest was his defense video. He put out a defense video, like being
dude.
"Oh, they say I'm a pedophile." He's like, "I got nieces." Like that was his defense. Like nothing else.
Right. And at one point, he was like, "You think I want some young pussy?" Yeah. I was like, "Bro, wrong approach.
Listen, I can't play it on here because YouTube will pull me for playing other YouTube stuff because YouTube sucks. Please, if you're out there, go YouTube, type in EDP. Oh man, like EDP child predators thing. That should come up. You'll laugh your ass off, and then go find his channel if it's still up, and find his defense video. It's just him saying things that don't make him not a pedophile. Like I say, he's like pedophile. That's crazy. Like I got goddaughters. Pedophile. I have a job. Like just saying things like anybody has. Like
I got a 2008 Toyota Corolla. I get pussy.
it's not funny because he's a pedophile, but it's funny. It's funny. At the end of the day, he's a piece of shit, right? Obviously, he should be killed. But dude, just extract yourself from that part and just look at it from content, comedy wise. It's very funny. It's very fucking funny. Oh man! All right, we can wrap it up. Go. You're muted. You're muted.
You gotta put Bill Cox's comment on the screen.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, that is funny. Hey, I'm sorry. You know what, Greg? You'd find it funny too if you saw the video. Okay, I'm just saying it's very funny.
I'll be watching it. I promise.
Objectively funny or subjectively, or whatever. No, objective. It's hilarious. You'll laugh. So goddamn funny. All right, boys, we can wrap it up after that.
No, so I want to ask your opinion of something.
Yeah. We don't have to.
I mean, I'm sure the girl's still breathing. Greg's fine. Are you familiar with Brendan Schaub?
Yeah, of course.
You know he's suing a YouTuber for shitting on him.
Beige.
No, not Beige Frequency. That's a whole different thing. That was like Beige Frequency was like a Ben Pixels thing. Brendan Schaub is suing the kid that used to be like Science Entertainment, and then he became like Unique News or some shit. The kid's like a piece of shit. He just gets like hammered. He looks like he eats Xanax and gets drunk.
Why is he suing him?
But he's basically like a T channel for like the Rogan sphere of people.
Okay.
And Schaub's suing him for talking shit about him on his channel. Got the dude's channel nuked. It's like a legit lawsuit. Dude was making money off YouTube. That was his job. He legit talked shit to people about how much money he made, and Schaub got his channel nuked.
Yeah, but how is shit talk? Unless you're, I mean, I understand you can't libel and slander, but if you're just shit talking, that's like,
yeah, like he basically twisted the fair use thing. So you know, like the fair use disclaimer, where like
okay, so they got on technicality bullshit.
Yeah, the same type of shit that Ben Pixels would nuke people for.
Right. Okay. Because he's a fucking okay. So the thing why I do not like Brendan Schaub, I like him for his MMA stuff. I always did. That was never an issue for me. It's that I want to do stand up, but because I'm friends with some of the best comics in the world, I'm not going to take the route as I should as a stand up. I'm just going to start headlining major clubs across the country because I have a following. Now, dude, get your money. Whatever. Totally get it, right? Let me film a special 2.5 years in. And then let it be the worst thing that I've ever seen in my life. It was so... I'm not saying this because I'm shitting on him because I don't like him. I do like him for them. As a comic, it was so bad. It was so bad. Hold on. It was so bad. They bribed like a CBD company. Not bribe. Yes. Bribe. That's not the right word.
Pure Spectrum gave you 75% off CBD.
If you left a good review, a good rating and review on his special, and then showed them that you did, they would give you like CBD or something like that, or like money or whatever the fuck. Like they were like essentially bribing, not bribing, but essentially influencing people to drop good reviews. And it still got it because come on.
He got a 1.7 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Dude,
it's so literally bad. The worst rating.
Because like again, like dude, comedy takes a fucking long time to like craft. Like I know everybody's be like, you're not funny, like whatever. That by the way, that joke's dead too. But like I've been doing comedy 9 years, and like truly though, I just started getting good like the last 2. Like good where I like good enough where I could like travel the road and people want to like come and like pay to see me. You know, I'm like I consider the first 7 years you suck. Honestly, like and like he just went from like I want to do fucking stand up. Hey Joe Rogan, Brian Callen, Chris D'Elia, can you put me in? Sure. And then they I know they try to help him and stuff like that, but dude, it's just still so bad. Like no help in the world doesn't matter.
Bro, it's funny to me because like I don't ever, in terms of like I did like open mics for a year because I just didn't fit in with the cliques. So like I just ran out of energy to sit at places and do
Yeah.
3 minutes to 4 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
But at the same time, I was doing a podcast that was like pretty popular. So like I've been in front of people like being funny for a long time. And I still like in context like this, like obviously we're friends, but still other people are watching, so it's in your head and shit. So still like in my head, I'm every fucking time I tell a joke, like I'm already asking myself how bad or how funny that joke was because it's just naturally programmed in my head to do that. And I'm like, these people just I'm like, I'm a better podcaster than Brendan Schaub, and I haven't had my own podcast for like 2 years. Like,
Yeah, I mean, again, you link up with fucking really talented, funny people, and you could fucking get carried. You know, it just is what it is, and that's
He's
that's what
also-
bothered me about him is the stand up angle, not everything else. Everything else I understand. Like you're doing your thing, you podcast. No, you have to be a comic to do a podcast. It's fucking stupid. But like, it's just that comedy thing, dude. As a comic, I'm like, you motherfucker, like you leapfrogged and you suck. If you leapfrog and you were good, it's like whatever. You know, you get the pass. But like, you can't leapfrog and eat shit. And again, he has a built-in fan base, so of course they're gonna like him. But my point is like, if Brennan just came to the Poppin' and no one knew who he was, he would eat shit straight up. He would bomb. I know he would. I'm sure he's better now, but like I'm sure I would blow him out of the fucking water. And I'm not even tooting my own horn, but like Neil would blow him out of the water. Like you know, all guys who do comedy for real and would shit on him. I mean, he does it for real too, but you know what I'm saying? Like, who aren't fucking 4 years in and think they're fucking gods. Imagine filming a special 2 years in, dude.
Bro, I legit like I thought about before I got on stage for 5 minutes the first time ever. I thought about that 5-minute bit for 3 years. That's legitimately not a joke.
Yeah.
Like I started my podcast with my buddy and we were doing well and I was like, "Man, I should try it." Like I feel like I'd be okay, right? And like I'm like, I'm not ready yet. And for legitimately for 3 years, I wrote a 5-minute bit. And the
Yeah.
first time I went on stage, I did well, and I was like, that's the worst possible outcome. Like I literally told my buddy, I was like, next time I go on stage, I have
Yeah.
to wing it because I did good, and it's gonna
Most
make me
people
think I'm funny.
do well, which is weird. Most people do well their first time, and then that gives everybody like a false comp. Since I did well my very
Oh
first
yeah,
time ever, and because then I bombed for the next 7 years. So it's like, oh, okay.
right. And then I just ate shit every other time.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that was not how I thought this would go at all. Like, what? That's fucking crazy. All right, yeah, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Going to bed.
Greg, Anthony, tell everybody where they can find you guys, any social media you want to plug, podcast, all that good stuff.
All right,
Anybody
yeah, you
wants
can
to go
find
first?
me on at Greg Deal on Twitter, and I'm part of the Broken Windows podcast with Anthony, and hopefully Constantine will come back at some point.
Yeah, we missed the tracksuits already. You can find me on Twitter, Anthony Portillo, like Y-O, because you gringos don't know how to say my name right. I almost changed it to Fortino after a convention, but I was like, I'll just.
I'm sure there's already one. That username is probably taken.
Yeah.
Guys, go sub to their podcast, Broken Windows. Is it available on YouTube and shit?
Yes, it's only on YouTube right now. It's
Oh,
only
all
my
right.
channel. So, but if
Definitely-
you search Broken Windows, you'll find
Definitely make an audio because most people listen.
it. Yeah, we will, but we've been too busy saving the LPPA.
Yeah. All right. Don't leave when I pull you guys out. I'll say goodbye behind off mic. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And again, everybody, just check me out at another. Come to comedy shows. Go listen to Cult of Us. It's fun. It's a fun comedy podcast I do. YouTube.com/Cult of Us. Available audio everywhere. Also. All right. This has been a good time, gents. Thank you. Peace out. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Find Adam on social media, Twitter and IG at Adam Nutter, or Facebook and TikTok at Adam Nutter Comedy. And for podcasts and merch, check out www.droptent.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.